Hello, Bible readers. It is Thursday, November 26th. We're reading Psalms 10, 14, 16, 19, 21, and then Acts chapter 12. The 10th Psalm, 9 was about the wickedness of the nations. 10 is about, it's a continuation, really, of Psalm 9, but it's about the wickedness of people. But of course, the message of Psalms 9 and 10 is that it shall not always be like this. Psalm 14, this one is a challenging psalm because it admits that values that we lift up very high, like independence and being self-directed and being self-sufficient, that those are all actually false and values that pull us away from God, upon whom our sufficiency and everything else should come from and toward and go toward. So Psalm 14, that's a tough one. Psalm 16 is a trust psalm. Psalm 19, if the Beatles song, Love Is All You Need, if that were based on a psalm, it would be this one. C.S. Lewis said this was one of the greatest lyrics ever written. So this was one of his favorite psalms. And then Psalm 21 is a royal psalm of trust. This is a particular category of psalms where it's not just a psalm of trust, but where the king, anointed by God or chosen by God, however monarchy cultures really thought of kings, even the king trusts in God. All right, then we get into Acts, Peter's escape and Herod's death. Before talking about the commissioning of missionaries to the church in Antioch, Luke pauses to look one last time at events concerning the church in Jerusalem, and especially concerning the person who until now has dominated the story. My commentary says up to now it could be called the Acts of Peter. And so we look back on one last time. We have an account of a Peter story. There's a fulfillment. I had never put this together, but once more, the reader finds the narrative fulfilling the prophecy of Mary. He's pulled down the mighty from their thrones. He's exalted the lowly. It makes me remember Hold an Evening Prayer when we sing that song. He has cast the mighty down from their thrones and uplifted the humble in heart. That's Luke chapter 1, verse 52. That's Mary's song. And here it's happening, right? Herod is pulled down from his throne, and those who are not deemed to be mighty by the world are being lifted up. Luke shows his ability to write in a humorous way here. I think as it's almost like a slapstick misunderstanding when Peter somehow finds a way to be, by God, of course, released out of prison, but he can't get through a locked gate into a Christian household because he's mistaken for an angel. It's all kind of silly, almost, and yet serves Luke's purposes as a storyteller. And this last part, I just want to read a paragraph from my commentary for you. As the death of Stephen was portrayed as the extension and mirror image of the death of Jesus, in order to make the point that Stephen was a prophet who spoke with Jesus' spirit, so is the account of Peter's escape subtly fashioned by Luke to make a similar point. The escape of the prophet Peter from prison becomes a demonstration that the resurrection of Jesus continues to empower his apostles. The story of Jesus is continued in the story of his followers, and the power at work in Jesus is now even more powerfully at work in his church. It was interesting here as I read, there's so many details about Peter getting out of prison that make it sound a lot like Jesus rising from death. There's a laying on of hands, an arrest, a delivering over, a leading forth. There's an angel that shows up. When Jesus appears to the community as a whole, they disbelieve for joy, much like Peter has that experience. They think Jesus is a ghost. Peter obviously doesn't die, but he's told by the angel to rise. When he gets to the house, we're not surprised to find that Rhoda did not open it for joy. She proclaims that Peter's standing at the gate, and then she's told, "You are crazy." So many echoes of the story of Jesus and his resurrection we see here with Peter. And again, the story of Jesus is showing that the power at work in Jesus is now even more powerfully at work in his church through people like Peter. I am one with my God. My God is with us, all of us, at all times and in all places.